does it taste? Use the sweet peppers for the salsa. That is, look at that color. I got my CSA delivery. It's delicious. Yum. I never really make dessert. It is so delicious. Hello and welcome back to a new video. Did this zoom out all the way? Oh, hi. You want some blueberries? I have been loving to make Sir. So let me show y'all him because I feel like he has not, I mean, I haven't been on my channel in a minute, but Sir hasn't either. Hold on. Hi, my big boy. That's my buddy. Hi, BB. But I'm about to make him a little blueberry and peanut butter bowl. So I just give him some of this. We got it from like a local donkey bakery. Let me focus that, yeah. And then I give him some of these wild blueberries. He just loves it so much and he gets so excited. But I was so inspired to, well, today is Saturday, and I was so inspired to pick up the camera today because I have been not fully inspired to pick up the camera really, but I'm looking forward to sharing what I'm planning to share in this video, which is essentially, here I have a delivery. It's like a grocery delivery that I get through my local CSA, which I say my local CSA, but I just get it through a CSA, which is Community Supported Agriculture. I may have shared this in a previous video as well. And I wanted to do a haul of what I got in here because I'm planning to use these ingredients or these items throughout the week in this video. I'll give you a little bit more, buddy. You want to see his little snack? You ready, bud? Here you go, baby. Okay, now back to why we're here. So as I mentioned, I got my CSA delivery, and if you're not familiar with CSA, that is where you can get local produce, you can get meat, eggs, baked goods, all the things from local farmers, from local bakeries, all of that. If you're in the Seattle area, I get mine through Salmonberry Goods. It's almost as if I went to the farmer's market and picked these items up from different booths. That's what they do. So they pull produce and, again, as I mentioned, eggs, meat, all of that from local farmers, and they put together this subscription where you can have it delivered. I do know that most cities should have something like this. So if you're not in Seattle, I would just recommend you check out, like maybe just Google local CSA or even go to your farmer's market to figure out how you can sign up for one. But let's go through this. Wow. So this is celery. Look at these leaves. Ooh, I already know what I want to do with the celery because I do still have some carrots left over from my last delivery. Spinach. These are shiitake mushrooms, purple kale, which is gorgeous. I need to give it an ice bath so that it can kind of firm up a bit. Artichokes, beautiful. I actually got 2 of these. This is so beautiful. Purple cabbage, how gorgeous. Plums, 2 apples, garlic. These are beautiful. How pretty. So these are sweet peppers. Oh my gosh, it's so cute. Another sweet pepper. I'm so happy with everything that I got. I can't wait to cook with it. I needed to show you these because I'm gonna be using them throughout the week in either meals or just different recipes that I'm planning to share in this video. But I hope you are having a wonderful day. Let's go ahead and get into the rest of this video. So let's get into these recipes. I have everything laid out here. This first meal is going to be a good way for me to use up some of the ingredients that I have. As I mentioned, I have some carrots that I need to use because I've had them for a couple of weeks now. Pro tip, a good way to keep your carrots lasting for a while, store them in water and just change the water out every few days, and I just keep this in the fridge. But I'm about to make a soup. It's cozy season. Though the sun is shining here in Seattle, it is still a little chilly outside, so it is the perfect time to make some soup. So what I'm planning to do, I've never made this before, so this is also just a good way for me to test the recipe. But got some carrots, so I'm gonna make a carrot, honey patch squash, cannellini bean, and miso soup. I have a couple shallots that I got in my last delivery. I'm gonna use those up. I also have some garlic. So we're about to go ahead and make this soup. I just need to chop up these veggies first. I wasn't sure if I wanted to peel the carrots, but I think I'm gonna peel them. I'm probably just gonna use all of these, which means I'll have enough to freeze. Oh, that's so much easier, just going like that. This is honey patch squash. You should also be able to make this with regular butternut squash if you have it, or at least that's what I'm assuming, because I mean, I would probably should have left that end on, but whatever. I'm gonna just scrape all that out. I'm gonna save the seeds. I don't know what I'm gonna do with the seeds just yet, but I'll at least have them so I can do something with them if I want to. Now for the shallots. Now for the garlic. And I'm putting all of this in the oven, by the way, so I'm just gonna leave the skin on while that's in there. I'm gonna go ahead and just cut this into chunks. Be perfect, I guess, but I'm gonna add all of this to a baking sheet. I'm gonna drizzle this with some olive oil, add some salt, then black pepper. Almost forgot that outer layer. Give that a good mix. I'm gonna add down the squash. Gonna drizzle that with some oil too. Give it a good rub down. Now some black pepper and some salt. I'm gonna take the garlic cloves and put them under the squash. Place them under the squash. Okay, now I'm just gonna bake this. The veggies are all done in the oven, and I'm just gonna let these cool before adding them to my blender. Oh, and I went ahead and removed the skin from the garlic. I'm gonna scrape this out and then add it to the blender too. And I have the beans. Now I have some vegetable broth. I'm gonna blend this and then add it to a pot. I want this to be a little bit thinner, so I'm gonna go in with some dairy-free milk as well. Okay, and while that's warming up, I'm gonna combine the miso, and I'm just gonna add a splash of water. Now I'm just gonna whisk this up. I created a paste. That way I can combine the miso in the soup a little bit more smoothly. Okay, I'm gonna add a little bit of smoked paprika in here, some thyme, black pepper, and the miso paste. And I turned the heat off on this, by the way, just before adding in the miso. I don't wanna cook the benefits that you get from miso out of it, so that's the reason why I turned it off. Give it a taste test. Good, but I feel like it needs some. I don't have any lemon juice, or I would have added it, but I do have some rice wine vinegar, so I'm gonna add a splash or a couple dashes of that in there. It just needed a tang. All right, let me see if that did the trick. That was it. It's time to eat. I do want to add a little spice, so I have some Calabrian chilies here. I'm also going to add some fresh basil. I'm gonna start by rolling that up like that. And some olive oil. So here's my soup. Let's give this a taste test. This is definitely a winner. And this is one that I would say, if you have all the ingredients, make it. But I also think it's worth a trip to the grocery store. And you should be able to find all of the ingredients at your local grocery store. I'm trying to think through everything we used. I mean, aside from the Calabrian chilies, which you don't need, but I think it does add to the recipe. You could use red pepper flakes in its place, or if you have some chili crisp or the chili crunch, I think that would also be really good on here. And then as far as what else you could enjoy this with, you can have this with some additional protein if you like, maybe some toasted sourdough bread. This is really good. I just text one of my friends letting her know. I like to, whenever I make a recipe and I have multiple servings left over, I like to gift it. So I'm about to pack it up for her, but I just love being able to share my food with people, especially when I know that it tastes good. She's also a foodie just like me. She likes different type of cuisines. So I have a feeling that she's gonna like this. I need to find something to put it in. Okay, I think I'm just gonna put it in here. And there we go. If you know anything about me, you know I love tacos. Last week I posted over on TikTok, I was kind of torn between making tacos or a sandwich for dinner, and people voted. Well, people voted for both the sandwich and tacos, but I feel like more people voted for the tacos, and I ended up making tacos. But I bring that up because when I made the tacos, I ended up making my own plant-based ground, which is just a combination of black beans, pecans, mushrooms, onions, chipotle peppers, taco seasoning, garlic, and onion powder. So I'm just gonna use this as my taco filling. Something that I need to prep for the tacos is salsa, which I'm really excited for because I decided that I wanted to use the sweet peppers that I got in my delivery for the salsa. That is genius, right? So that's what I'm gonna do for dinner, and I'm really hungry, so let's go ahead and get started with that. Here are the veggies all cooked up, and they look so good. So I'm gonna let these cool and then add them to a food processor with some additional seasonings. Okay, I'm just gonna add all of the roasted veggies in here. Some salt, black pepper, a little bit of olive oil, some lime. I almost forgot the cilantro. What am I thinking? Okay, here's our salsa, and it looks so good. I gave it a taste test and it's good. The only feedback I have is that it's not as spicy as I expected it to be, and honestly as I want it to be. So I'm probably gonna throw in some red pepper flakes. Yeah, I think I'm gonna throw in a few red pepper flakes, but overall the flavor is really good. And I went ahead and added in my red pepper flakes. Warmed my tortillas up, also warmed up this veggie mix. But here's how it looks, by the way. It's probably doesn't look the most appetizing, but it's really good, I promise. Go with a layer of that right there. Then I'm gonna add down some dairy-free cheese. I'm also gonna rub oil on these so that they crisp up while they're in the oven. Go ahead and take these tacos out. Now that everything is ready, I'm gonna go ahead and assemble. I'm gonna add some of the salsa in here, squeeze some lime juice, and go on with some cilantro, which I love. That looks so delicious. We got our salsa, we got our crispy baked tacos. One. Yum. Let's give this a taste. That adds such a nice sweetness. Wow, highly recommend. That was really good. And I haven't mentioned this just yet, but similar to my past two videos, all of the recipes that I share in this video will be on my Substack. And if you are unfamiliar with Substack, it's essentially a platform for creatives, writers, recipe developers, and it's just a space to house your work. And that's where you're gonna be able to find all of my recipes going forward. So be sure to check it out. You can either just Google Shakayla Felice Substack, or you can scan this QR code, but I also included the link to my Substack in the description. So be sure to check there if there are any recipes in this video that you wanna try. When I tell you I devoured those tacos, they were so good. And with the salsa, baby. Listen, I just got back from a workout and it was so good. I've been doing Orange Theory, and I actually found out that today was my 100th class. Are you kidding? I'm so proud of myself. But anyway, I'm hungry. It's time for lunch, and what I'm planning to make for lunch today is a fall-inspired salad. So remember the kale? Before I left, I decided to give it an ice bath, and oh my gosh, that worked wonders. It is so much more crisp and firm. I'm honestly impressed. But yeah, I left it in the water really the entire time I was gone. But anyway, what I'm gonna do is have this fall inspired salad. I have this super firm tofu that I'm gonna cube up and marinate while I kind of get ready for the day, or the rest of the day, I guess. Tell me you want something, I got it. Wonderful. Come be the man I need. Okay, I'm back and our tofu has been marinating for probably about 20 to 30 minutes. Off camera, I went ahead and diced the honey patch squash. So I just cut it into cubes, and then I took the shiitake mushrooms. I removed the stems and then sliced them in half. Now I'm going to, no. Let me back up. Right now I'm gonna focus on everything that's going in the oven, which will be the mushrooms, the squash, which I'll probably put in there first because I think the squash is gonna need a little bit longer. So I'll start with the squash, then add the mushrooms. No, I'm gonna do the squash and the chickpeas and then add the mushrooms because I think that is everything I'm gonna bake. No, oh my gosh. I'm gonna put the squash, the tofu, and the chickpeas in there. Then I'm gonna add the mushrooms. Yeah, that's what we'll do. So I just have a can of chickpeas here. I'm gonna drain and rinse. Ooh, that was tough. And by the way, I know somebody probably just said, no, the aquafaba. I know, I should have kept it. But if you need some chickpea recipes, I posted 6 over on Substack. So if you need some ideas for a can of chickpeas or some dried chickpeas, I share 6 over there. And again, I'll have that linked in the description box. I have the tofu here. I'm okay with it not being crispy, but I am gonna drizzle it with some olive oil and season it with some black pepper. I love me some rosemary, so I'm gonna add some down. And I also feel like rosemary really gives like fall vibes. Then I have some onion powder. Yeah, a little bit more. Some garlic powder. And you knew it was coming. Some smoked paprika. Okay, now I'm just gonna mix this up. Just spread everything out. And while those are in the oven, I'm gonna go ahead and chop up the rest of my veggies. We have the gorgeous red kale. I'm probably gonna make like 2 servings of this salad, so I'm gonna use a good amount. So I'm just gonna start by removing the leaves from the stem. Now I'm just gonna layer these on top of each other as best I can, so then I can cut it into strips. And I'm gonna roll it up like this. Now I'm gonna cut up this celery. I'm also gonna cut up this apple. Okay, now I'm gonna make the dressing, which I'm just making up as I go. I did pick up some Ithaca and Graza hummus. I got this one from Costco. It's a huge tub, so I will be eating on this for a while. I'm gonna just do a few tablespoons of that. Now some olive oil. I'm gonna go in with some honey, but you can also use maple syrup if you'd like. That much Dijon mustard. I'm gonna grate some garlic. I also have more of the shallots, so I figured I could grate just like a small little piece in there too. I did pick up some apple cider vinegar today, so I'm gonna add a couple tablespoons of that, some black pepper, and salt. And a few tablespoons of water to just help thin out the hummus. Add the lid, then I'm just gonna shake this up. Let's taste this dressing. It is so good. Okay, I went ahead and massaged the kale off camera, and I just massaged it with a little bit of apple cider vinegar. Gonna add the celery, now the roasted veggies, the apples, some shredded dairy-free Parmesan, and then the dressing. Yum. I've been tearing this salad up. I almost forgot to update you. It is so delicious. Look at the material. This is so good. This is definitely a salad that I would make again. I feel like it's also perfect for meal prep. You can make it for your family, for your friends, or yourself like I'm doing, because I'm gonna enjoy this for lunch tomorrow as well. I'm so excited because I just had the best idea. So I honestly had no clue what to do with, I mean, aside from roasting, but like, where's the fun in that? I mean, I could do that, but I don't want to. I had the idea to make some pickled cauliflower. I feel like I mentioned this on my channel before. Oh wow, it's a whole bug on here. Look at that. Can you see that? Yeah, I'm sorry, buddy, but you gotta go. So I enjoy having pickled veggies or fermented veggies on the side of my breakfast, and actually ran out of the last bit of pickled veggies that I had from the market. So figured I would just go ahead and make some pickled cauliflower, which I've had before and it is so delicious. And I'm also gonna throw in some sliced red onions for a little pickled cauliflower and red onion action. Sounds good, right? Let's go ahead and cut this up, give it a good wash clearly, and then put everything together. Oh, this is just so beautiful. I'm gonna give the cauliflower florets a baking soda bath. Though the benefits differ between pickled veggies and fermented veggies, they both still offer gut health benefits. And so that's the reason why I try to enjoy at least a serving of fermented foods a day and some pickled veggies, whether it be with my breakfast, a snack plate, or just eating it straight from the jar right out the fridge. And because there are so many different ways to enjoy pickled veggies, you can also prep them different ways. You can use different type of veggies, but I'm just gonna do the cauliflower and the red onions. If I had some fresh herbs, I would add them in here, but I don't. So I'm just gonna use what I have. Shove this in here. And I know some recipes you use distilled vinegar. I don't have any, so I'm just gonna use apple cider vinegar. And then some warm water the rest of the way. Gonna add in some salt, a generous amount of salt actually. Okay, and here's the pickled veggies. And I'm gonna just let this sit on the counter uncovered for about 30 minutes to allow the water time to cool. So I am about to make a post-workout smoothie, and it is going to be cinnamon apple pie inspired. I'm going in with some almond milk, some protein powder, and this one is salted maca caramel. Now for some protein yogurt, a little bit of cashew butter, some vanilla extract, some cinnamon, nutmeg, a pinch of salt, the diced apples, some frozen bananas, and ice. Add some more cinnamon on top. That is delicious. Okay, it's time for the next recipe, and what I'm thinking about making is wild rice soup, mainly because I really have all the ingredients for it. I have some wild rice that I just got in bulk at the grocery store, and then I'm gonna use up those mushrooms that I got in my delivery, but then I also have some baby bella mushrooms in here. A while ago, I froze some celery, onions, and carrots. This was ahead of soup season, and I knew that soup season was coming around and figured it would be perfect just to go ahead and freeze it so that I can use it in recipes. And then I think I'm going to, just for the sake of cooking it up, more of that celery. And I know that typically with wild rice soup, or at least recipes that I've seen in ways that I've made it in the past, is you would use flour. I don't plan to use flour in this batch. What I will be doing is combining some extra firm tofu with cashews that I have soaking in water and some dairy-free milk. And of course, I'm gonna season it up really good. I have some work that I need to do, so this is going to be a great soup that I can just put on the stove and kind of leave it to simmer and do its thing. And one thing I did want to mention, I know that the world is very, very crazy right now. The United States of America is very, very crazy right now. With the content that I put out being surrounded or focused on food, I am not blind to things that are happening in the food space, especially with SNAP benefits being cut, which is absolutely disgusting and very disheartening. I mean, it's horrible regardless, but especially around this time of the year where people are gearing up for the holidays and being around family and coming together around food. And so I did come across a few resources that I'm going to include in the description box, and I'll also have it on the Substack post. But if you know of any resources, whether it be food pantries or organizations that will be assisting individuals when it comes to food or even just the basic needs, please leave them in the comments. And I feel like now more than ever, it is extremely important to just take care of ourselves as best as we can, considering everything that is going on. The one thing that they can't take away from us is our health. But if you can, try to shop locally at your local farmers market. I know that here in Washington, there's a food pantry that anybody can go to. They don't ask you any questions. They don't limit you on how much you can take. And I can only imagine that there are other cities and states with similar food pantries. And hopefully you find that the meals that I've shared in this video can be helpful for you in feeding your family and all the things. Yeah, it is very, it's disgusting what is happening. And I'm about to put this soup together. Try not to get too emotional. But anyway, let's do this. I'm gonna be making enough servings so that I can freeze some. So I'm just gonna remove the stem from these and rip them in half. And as you can tell, this is a recipe that is not gonna require any fancy ingredients. You should be able to find everything at your local grocery store, or if you want to swing by your local farmers market on the weekend, you should be able to find at least the fresh veggies. I don't know about the tofu, which honestly is optional. I'm gonna add some oil to the pot. I'm gonna add in the mushrooms and then let this cook down. I'm gonna dice up the rest of the celery. Okay, now I'm just gonna let this cook down. Okay, then in here, I have the cashews. I just rinsed these off really well. I have that extra firm tofu. I'm gonna break that into chunks and add it in here. And that's gonna add some additional protein to this soup. Also gonna go in with some nutritional yeast and black pepper. So this is gonna make a cream sauce. Off camera, I went ahead and minced some garlic, so I'm gonna add that in here. Now I'm gonna add in some seasonings. This is a mix of turmeric, thyme, rosemary, onion powder, garlic powder, and poultry seasoning. Now I'm gonna add in some veggie broth. I'm gonna have 1 bay leaf. Then I'm gonna add in the wild rice. I'm gonna bring this to a boil, reduce the heat, cover it with the lid, and let it simmer. Okay, so I have about 5 more minutes left on the soup. So I'm gonna give this a stir. As you can tell, a lot of the liquid has cooked down. I'm gonna remove that bay leaf. So I just added in some of the cream that we put together. Not all of it, but some of it. Let's add in some lemon juice and then just taste and adjust as needed. That looks delicious. Now it's time to enjoy. Then I'm gonna top it with some fresh herbs. Doesn't this soup look so delicious? All right, let's see how it is. It is so cozy. This is just what I needed. And as mentioned, I'm gonna freeze the rest. By the way, the recipe got me a total of 8 cups of soup, which is probably anywhere from 4 to 6 servings, depending on how hungry you are and how you decide to portion this out. And I'm just gonna freeze this for maybe this weekend or even next week. Okay, so the next recipe, I wanted to use up the plums that I got in that delivery. So I'm going to make a plum crumble. I saw a video making this over on TikTok. What I saw them do is just cut up the plums, slice them in half, remove the pit. And I'm gonna bake mine in this little, is this a baby Dutch oven? I don't know. But I'm gonna put it in here, toss it in a little bit of maple syrup. Then I'm gonna put together a crumble, which is gonna consist of some rolled oats, coconut sugar, flour, cinnamon, and I think that should be it. And I figured I would make a dessert because I never really make dessert. So we're about to make this together. is so good.
It was incredible.
Thanks. I was recording. Can you believe the only ingredients I have not cooked with from the haul I showed earlier in this video are the artichokes and then the spinach, which I had to give an ice bath to because it was a little wilted. But I'm so proud of myself for using my groceries up. I decided that I wanted to use the spinach in some tofu tacos. So I have the other half of the tofu from the fall salad. I just went ahead and crumbled it up. I'm gonna cook that up in my tofu scramble seasoning blend, add it to a tortilla, along with these 5 black beans that I have. Have some red onions. Thinking about cutting the sweet pepper up just to use it. I also have some microgreens. But the pickled cauliflower and red onions, they are so beautiful. But I gotta admit, I have already been enjoying them because it's so good. And this color is insane. Look at how pigmented that is. Look at that cauliflower. It is so gorgeous. It doesn't taste like the cauliflower that I got from the market. I need to figure out what exactly they put in theirs, but it could be because I used the apple cider vinegar instead of distilled vinegar. But it's really good. But anyway, let's go ahead and put these tacos together. On the onions and the sweet pepper. Just gonna let that cook up for a little bit and then add in the tofu. I'm cooking up the tofu first just to get a little color on it, and then I'm gonna add a splash of dairy-free milk. I have a little bit of this organic pistachio milk left over, so I'm gonna use that. But for that tofu scramble seasoning blend that I mentioned, which is what I have here, it's a combination of turmeric, nutritional yeast, garlic and onion powder, smoked paprika, curry powder, salt, black pepper, and I think that's it. But then I'm gonna sprinkle some of this on there as well, and then throw in the spinach. Throw in a little bit more milk. I'm about to heat up my tortillas, but I don't plan to make the artichokes in this video, by the way. I do have dinner plans tonight, so I'll likely make the artichokes and either share them on Substack, Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube Shorts. So be sure to check one of those if you are interested in knowing what I'm planning to do with the artichokes. But let's go ahead and finish up these tacos. When I said I have 5 black beans, I didn't mean literally, but pretty close. But I am gonna just add them on here as well. Also gonna go in with some of the pickled veggies. I feel like it's so dark in here because it is so gloomy outside. Do you remember the sauce that I put together? We put it inside of the wild rice soup from yesterday. Well, I have more of that sauce left over and I'm gonna drizzle it on top of the tacos. And then I have some of those microgreens that I talked about, or sprouts. No, microgreens. All right, and here are the tacos looking so delicious. Yum. Lots and lots of veggies. I'm about to sit and enjoy my tacos, get to edit in this video, but I really hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you found the meals that I shared in this video inspiring. I hope they're meals that you decide to make for yourself, for your friends, or your family. But thank you again for being here, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.